Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our Water Beaver overhaul playthrough here in Timberborn Update for Cycle 10 Day 2. Last time we did a rather impressive recovery, if I do say so myself, from a huge misstep in episode 3 that almost killed off our colony, but now it is looking a whole lot better, up to about 84 beavers. Well, not about 84, it is 84 beavers. And we have a pretty good food production chain going on right here. A little bit of improvements to make there. But before we get started, I do need to let you know that I have updated this mod. It's now, I believe, version 0.2.2.7. So a couple things have changed, a couple things have been added, a couple things have been removed. And of the most interest to us right now is going to be these dam upgrades, which no longer require any blueprints whatsoever. So we can actually just start building these now, which is a super exciting development. Definitely very thankful that we no longer have to worry about messing with the architects and the blueprints and all that. So before that happens, I'm going to pause like we do at the beginning of the episode most times, and we'll go over the things we want to accomplish today. Obviously, first and foremost, we need to dam this up and store a bunch more water, which it looks like we're going to have the chance to because it is still very early in the temperate season. And if we can get this dammed up within the next couple of days, which I think is pretty reasonable, then we'll be able to flood this entire area and have a whole bunch more water to pump out, which leads to the next thing that we have to address is our pump houses here. We've got, I believe, including these upgrades, we have 7 beavers working as pumpers in this area, and then we have the one right here. Now, people have had some different opinions about what actually happens when these buildings flood. They are watertight, so they will function as long as the water does not go any higher than this beam right here. They do function just fine. The question, though, is going to be how high is this water actually going to stay? It shouldn't, I don't think, it shouldn't ever go above more than halfway up this block, maybe 2/3, because of the dams at the end. So I really don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. The doorways aren't going to care if the doorways get flooded, because that is how these houses work as well as watertight houses, lodges, whatever you want to call them. So I'm just completely unbothered by the doorways getting flooded. But the thing we have to think about, remember, is we have these small covered tanks right here. Those do not work while submerged. So we have a couple different options of things we can do. We can just remove these entirely and just only have storage up here. Or we can go into our dam houses and we can actually put lodges on the outside of this here, and then the other one that has the flipped doorway on this side. And I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I'd rather not have the additional sleeping capacity for the beavers all the way out here. So I'm tempted to just kind of leave it alone and just remove these small covered tanks and move water storage a little bit further up here. I think that's going to be the best option. We don't have a lot of science currently, so we can't really research the larger tanks quite yet, but that is going to become a priority. Maybe toward the end of this episode, we'll see what happens with that, and if we're able to take advantage of everything that brings up. So secondary, kind of related, when this all floods, now these brambles are going to be completely fine. They basically could survive a nuclear winter. Probably already have, based on the information we know about the setting of the game. But the berries are going to drown and die. These pine trees are going to die from flooding, and they have a lot of resin, which we probably should go ahead and harvest. So what I'm going to do, since we're already here, I'm going to place these stairs right there, and I'm going to go ahead and just demolish those 2 bushes, and we're going to connect everything up and let them harvest all of this. I'm not going to bother putting in like a house or anything. I'm just going to put in one of these tappers flags just as soon as I can actually have a place to build it. That will, allow them to get up here. Harvesting all of this resin would be a great achievement for us, considering, well, we already have full storage, but as soon as we lose all these trees because of flooding, we're not going to get them back. I'm not planting these again. And this little grove right here, while it's nice to have, is not going to be useful forever. We're probably going to have to get rid of it at some point and move trees to somewhere else once we start planting again. So what we're going to need to do is build some more storage for pine resin. We have plenty of options with our crappy warehouses once we research the medium ones. And of course, crate storage houses, which will hold 288, and also sleeps and beavers. That is a watertight building. It's a little big, but if we felt like building one of these could be a good way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and have some more sleeping capacity. We are going to need more beavers. I just didn't want to put them over here because this is kind of out of the way of most of our stuff. So something that adds a little bit of extra beaver capacity, beaver storage, if you will, for the those of you who remember that from a previous series. I think people like to roast me for stuff like that. But I digress. That's going to be a decision we'll make a little bit later on. For right now, our pine resin isn't really being used that quickly, with the exception of buildings that require waterproofing. Well, actually, these use tar, not the resin. But there are a couple things we could do with it, and at the very least, we want to make sure we have it so that we're not scrambling for it later. So that's another one of the priorities we've got today. Outside of that, we need to have some sort of something addressed with our mushroom growth, because while this does work with the log gnawing station, it is pretty wasteful of beaver work hours, and it's also, even though it's faster, it's not the most efficient recipe in terms of labor or materials. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn 2 of these mushroom growers over to slow mushroom growth. We're going to kind of stagger this, which I imagine we'll just have to kind of pause one of these for a couple days. I'll go ahead and pause that right now. And the reason we're doing that is because we got a very, very good breakdown of this stuff by a user, Paulo E, I believe is how that's pronounced. But long story short, the amount of resources that go into growing the mushrooms for the slow growth actually works out better in the long run. And even though the fast growth is fast, that's why it's fast growth, it's so labor intensive to do it that unless you are just really in desperate need for mushrooms to come constantly, just right one after the other, you're not really going to get too much out of it in the long run. So again, we're going to leave 1 on the fast growth, and we're going to have these 2 set to slow. We probably could add a couple more, but for right now, I don't think we need to really worry about that. Sawdust also can be used for some other things. And we're going to have to not just generate sawdust. That was another thing. Having 5 guys gnawing on a log just to make sawdust isn't the most efficient use of the time or energy either. So we can actually turn this guy back to tooth-cut planks, get planks out of it, even though we're using planks very, what's the right way to say this, sparingly currently, and our storage is full. There is going to come a time where we're going to need a lot more of them and to be able to build them faster. So that's why we're doing that. Outside of that, we need more farms, which is why 2 of them are down here in the bottom. And those of you who have played this mod are going to know this, but those of you just watching the videos, this update had a very, very good change for food, which is that rice is now unlocked by default, and Spatterdock is blocked behind the large farmhouse building because of the recipes that's involved in it. So we already have a pretty good amount of Spatterdock actually harvested already, which we're going to put in storage, and we're going to rip up all of this, and we're going to replace it with rice, because rice is going to allow us to have some pretty good early game food recipes that aren't just, eating cabbages. It's going to be useful in a couple of different ways, so we're going to be excited to get that going. And additionally, having the extra farms is going to help us keep up with our cabbage production. As you can see, there's a bunch right here that aren't being harvested because they're not close enough to be harvested by all these guys. So we are going to be relocating a couple things, as well as researching the assistant farmers upgrade, which is going to add another worker in these farms we can place on top of these buildings. Should help us out quite a bit when we get there, but we have to get there is the whole problem with this. So what we'll have to do now also is, because there is no longer a blueprint for the dams, we have to either decide what we're going to do with the architect's lodges, or we just pause them and have the beavers go work somewhere else. I'm not currently worried about making a large water wheel or the large farmhouse quite yet, but considering that this takes, 300 hours, we might want to go ahead and start working on this. So we're going to have this guy query everything. Hello, working on the large farmhouse blueprint. And Greasy Trigger over here doesn't really have anything that needs to be done right now, with the exception of possibly making some scaffoldings. So might as well just make a couple of these. We can store up to 5 of them. If we don't use them, okay. If we need them, great, we'll have them. So since this is already here, might as well take advantage of the labor that's available and do that. And the library, of course, is making science, albeit very slowly, fueled, of course, by the snacks that we're making at our farms and other fun things. But now that we don't have to have a blueprint, I guess we can go ahead and unpause. Now that we don't have to have a blueprint for making these things, it's really, really going to help us out quite a bit, and I am looking forward to that massively. So we're going to go ahead and mark as our priority to get rid of these things. Have somebody come in here and start grabbing this pine resin, because it's going to take a while for these to get built, and it's going to take longer for this to flood to the point where these are dead. But we need to make sure we can get that set in motion right away. Now, one other thing to note, that when this floods and these become quote-unquote unusable, we can just delete them, and the water will be packed up in a box sitting underwater, ironically. But that's neither here nor there. We can always grab it and put it in something else. For the time being, we have a good amount of water storage. We have a decent amount of food for the amount of beavers we have, and stuff is looking pretty good. So we'll let them get to work on that, and then we will continue delving further into our research, tech tree upgrades, and all of that stuff. Speaking of tech trees, Mod Creator is currently working on a new tech tree graphic for us that's going to be very, very useful, and we'll look forward to taking a look at that as soon as that's ready. But I think in the grand scheme of things, the tech tree really isn't that complicated necessarily for this mod. It's just all so new that it's very, very difficult to immediately understand exactly what you have to do. But tech tree graphics always help. I'm a very visual learner, so anytime I can see something presented in an infographic type format or a flowchart or something, really, really helps me out, helps me understand how things work. And I imagine a lot of you were like that as well, so we'll definitely be looking forward to that. Now you might notice things also kind of flashing storage because crude saw blades can no longer be stored in the mini crappy warehouse. You can only store steel saw blades. I don't know where these have to go, but they can't go here. And that's going to be an interesting problem to solve because we have to have those for the rudimentary sawmill. So let's just poke around real quick to see in the pile. Nope, can't store those there either. I really hope that's not an item that's been deprecated from the game. Nope, okay, we can still make it. So that's something. Is this going to tell me where this needs to be stored? I doubt it. Don't think so. So, oh, hold on. Glorious storage. This looks kind of familiar. Reminds me of the that mod that Battery Smooth made. That the name escapes me, but it puts the mundane items on these little pillows. So I'm pretty sure there's some sort of connection there. I'm not 100%, so don't quote me if I'm wrong. But that is hilarious. The glorious storage. If I build this, what can I put here? I think it's probably has something to do with the items that came from the broken cart. I am just so curious. Let's see. Put this here. What are the options? Okay, cool. Crew saw blades. It'll store 5 at a time. Or anvils, chemistry sets, clay pots, drill bits, incredibly compact library sets, or medium cauldrons. So that's cool. We'll build that right there. We'll leave that so we can put our crude saw blades in there. I think that's probably a good change considering the capacity is only 5 compared to having just comparatively a huge amount of storage for something that is a fairly essential consumable item. Could be a nice difficulty curve adjustment. Now, cabbages in this crappy warehouse. I'm going to go ahead, since we're eating the cabbages almost completely as soon as they're harvested anyway, I'm going to change this to store pine resin. And this is going to become cabbage storage instead as soon as I find... Yeah, there we go. So everything, you know, kind of works together to accomplish a goal, and that is what we're doing by moving things around. We've got plenty of berries here. We're going to keep harvesting the berries. I also want to get these guys berries harvested before all the bushes die out. So that's going to be something. They're still waiting for stuff here. Are these marked as a priority at all? No, and that's good. We don't want that. So this is a lumberjack flag. I'm no longer worried about actually cutting trees down over here. I think what's going to have to happen, we're just going to probably get rid of this. Like I said, the brambles are basically immortal at this point. You can't kill them. It's like kudzu. Or, I guess, whatever your regional equivalent of an invasive ground cover plant or tree-like organism is. I don't know what that would be across the world. It's honestly probably bamboo in a lot of Asian countries. And I think I mentioned before we have some bamboo problems here, but it's definitely where I live. It's definitely kudzu. Absolutely everywhere. You can't really kill it, and it's something. Anyway, that's enough about kudzu. What we need to make sure now is that we're not falling behind on food or water production. Stuff looks like it's fine. Screw press axles. I guess we just have the one storage for the screw press axle in the screw press itself. So as long as we don't have anybody actually making one of these, and I don't think we do, that's not something we're going to need to worry about. Cabbages, we probably could start making the braised cabbage again. Also, the cooking tent will make fried rice, since we don't have any, well, I guess we do technically have some here, but I'm going to pause the game just so I don't mess anything up. Fried rice takes a lot of this stuff, and we don't have all of it yet, but the fried rice is going to be a much better food source than some of this other stuff. We just have to grow some green peas. Green peas, not green beans. What in the world is that? Peanut gallery, do not interact. The dandelions we can gather. I guess we could grow some green peas if there's actually an early game recipe for those now. Mushrooms, we obviously have way more than we need for this. Rice we have to start growing. Sunflower oil becomes a little bit more of a challenging prospect with these water wheels here. But we'll go ahead and put this back to the braised cabbage, and we'll unpause it so we can have these two unemployed beavers start working there. Ford Prefect, not a beard booster. JFT is a beard booster, so we'll let those two guys get to work there. And we'll continue trying to get everything else set up here. It's going to be a couple more days before this stuff's all done, so they have some time to get at it over here. But since this space is cleared out, we're going to go ahead, put in our tapper's flag, see how far that reaches. And yeah, it looks like that's going to reach just about everything. I'm okay with that range, so we will plop that there. Wait, why can this tapper's flag get logs? Can they... how... I don't remember that being a thing. Unless there's a different type of tree that we haven't messed with that you can just get logs from without cutting it down? I don't know. It's one of those things I probably should have actually researched before starting this. But I don't know. Sometimes it's fun to just have the mystery and the allure of the unknown. So we'll leave that as it is. Again, like I said, this, I'm not worried about this at all. Should be fine. We have a source of dandelions over here that shouldn't ever dry out. And we also have some over here. We have some berries that also should be fine. So the next thing we need to do is find storage for our spatterdock. You can see this is already getting very, very full. And we have not researched better storage yet because we don't really have the science for it just quite yet. So we're still schlepping away with our crappy warehouses. I'm going to put one there. And that is going to be for, not grilled spatterdock, just regular spatterdock. So that can get stored properly. I guess I don't need to have this be super high priority, but I do want it to have some sort of priority. Because after this is all taken care of, I'm going to unplant. Well, I can just do that now, but I'll unplant this so they can harvest, and then we're going to plant rice and see what else we can do with it outside of the fried rice. It would not surprise me if that's the only thing we can do with the rice at this point in time, but we'll check to see just in case. Fermentation barrel, as expected, nothing there. The fried rice, I'm assuming, is that third one down. Looks like, is that a taco? Oh, that's rice balls. Onigiri, I think. Could be a hard G. I assume it's a soft G sound, but that's a Japanese snack. That's got rice, is that salt and water. That actually would be a good thing for us to start doing early game. And I guess there's a berry onigiri with the blueberries and everything. So yeah, we're definitely going to want to get in on that. We have our cooking tent over here that is working on braised cabbage. Probably would be a good idea for us to make a couple more of those. And we have this space up here that isn't watered. That would be a good place to do so. So let's go ahead and we can make multiple varieties of our little rice balls here. And we'll just have that connect like so. I'll go ahead and set this one. Salt onigiris. I actually don't know if the plural has an S on it, but I don't know. I'm not Japanese. Berry jam. That sounds kind of good, actually. A little bit of a sweet and savory combination for these two buildings. So that'll be exciting to see that come together. Nice, unique new food item we don't have in the base game. So what is going on over here? Do we have anybody? Oh, it's redacted. Not his actual name, but that's actual name as printed is not something I'm going to be reading out loud. So yeah, gathering here the Tapper's flag. Eventually, probably should have a storage, but I'm not super worried about it. I just want to get some of the pine resin here. So right next door to that, we're going to have our gatherer flag, of course, for gathering berries, and that will be that. We'll go ahead and kind of prioritize that. I just want to make sure the dams don't take precedence until we've started harvesting from here, because the berries will still, not die for a couple days after being flooded, but the Tapper's flag and the gatherer flag will not work when submerged, so we need to make sure that does not happen before it needs to. All right, so that is a pretty good amount of stuff already set in motion. I know 26 minutes into the episode, or at least on my recording counter, could be a couple minutes less by the time I cut out all the loading time, but we'll go ahead and go into turbo speed, let these guys do the work they need to take care of. So let's see, how far along are we? Oh, a little bit of lag here. 75% of the way done. I should have started this other one at 50%. So I guess we'll wait for the next time around. It doesn't really matter that much. Got Frail Rain working here to make some mushrooms for us. MallesBixie over here in the fast mushroom growth. Look at them go. Toiling away, making their mushrooms. All that fun stuff. How's our production going? Oh, they don't have all the materials. I feel like the arrows are missing for this. Definitely. This might be... This mod is a work in progress. It gets updated pretty much every day. So, I don't know if this is just something that got an oversight, but normally you'd see your green arrows for input and your red arrows for output. I don't know why tar appears here when tar is not in the ingredient list for the recipe. Oh, this is actually such a long list of stuff. It gets cut off on the bottom of the screen. That's interesting. Oh, I think the tar was left over from the previous... it was left over from the previous recipe for the dam pieces. So I don't know why they haven't gotten that out of there then. I would be interested to see what's up with that. So maybe the hauler's going to have something to do with that. They can start taking stuff out. Yep, there it goes. Going down to 3. And then it should, once this is gone, that should let this little bit move back up so I can see what's missing. But I'm pretty sure this is just the building lacks materials message, because this is only half full of paper. Primitive paper mills using pine resin, sawdust, and logs to make paper. And we can pretty much never have enough of that. And the scaffolding actually is being produced here, so that's nice. We'll have some of that ready to go. Tar is almost gone, that I'm going to unprioritize by haulers. Or maybe I could just leave it. I don't think it really matters. We've got enough going on. I don't think we need to really sit here and pick bones about it. But the spatter dock here, I think if I prioritize by haulers, they should start taking it out of the farmhouses and putting it in here. Or maybe I have to prioritize the farmhouses too. I don't know. The whole hauler prioritization thing in this game is kind of nebulous. And I know it should be a really super simple concept, but I don't know. It just seems like I never use it correctly. Could be dumb. Could just be me not understanding stuff, but for some reason it always tends to break my brain a little bit more than I should. And I think we only have lag. I think we only have two beavers working as haulers. Although I thought I could have sworn we had another house here, and it was either removed or I just never built it in the first place. Pit and ladder lodge. I don't think that's what it was. Pass through lodge. Was it a bridge? Bridge lodge? Maybe it was removed. I actually don't know. Huh. Well, that would be interesting. We do have 2-story watertight lodges with entrances on the bottom or the top, and then, of course, flipped directions for both. They employ 2 haulers. So, you know, maybe we could go ahead and build a couple of these. Though I don't know exactly where I would want to build one. I guess for right now, I might as well. Entrance is on the 2nd level here, right? Yes. We'll put that there. See if that ends up working out. Can't imagine it won't. So let's check on these guys. Are we harvesting our Yowanin son? Yes, we are, in fact. They're getting bramble flowers and berries. All right, well, that's allowed. Just got to make sure we prioritize these by haulers so they get collected. Although I think I do want them to prioritize the berries, so we'll leave that alone, and we'll see what happens. Yep, he's cutting down the everblossom trees so we can get some logs. We don't really need to, but I guess it's fine if that is an option here. So it looks like the dam upgrade. Okay, that's why it needs 90 logs. Did it always take 90 logs, or is that a change? I could not tell you, to be perfectly honest. Now I'm actually kind of doubtful that this gets finished before the end of this cycle. Which, I guess is fine. Gives us a little bit more time to do all that stuff. So, next thing we've got to take into account is, wow, this is already that full, and there's still spatterdock that hasn't been harvested yet. Oh boy. Well, this is going to be interesting when we just have spatterdock storage we don't really want or need. I don't know. I think we're fine. We'll just put it out here in exile. Because I know we're going to want it. And there's no reason for me not to store it. There's no penalty for storing things. So that's what we'll do. Eventually they'll have the ability to do that. In the meantime, once these start, I'm just gonna kill these little seedlings here, and we need to make sure we're starting to plant rice, because that is the crop of the future, at least for these beavers. And once we have that, then we can start making some delicious treats. Everybody wants some of that. Everything else seems like it's going pretty well. Despite having, I guess, 8 beavers working as water pumpers, we're still not really pumping enough water. And yes, I have been informed about the mostly helpful billboards. What is the how not to die of thirst? They can't reach this, that's fine. Know your math. 1 pump equals 20 beavers. So theoretically, we have more than enough, but we can't ever max out our storage. So I don't know. Maybe I've just not done it quite the right way. I'm not really bothered by it, though. I think everything else is working just fine as it is. So can I do anything else with the rice? I guess I could just keep planting individual little bits here. There we go. Because as soon as you, I guess, unplant these plants, I know that might not make sense from the terminology, but as soon as you unmark them for planting, they will spread naturally, which is something that normally we would like, but for right now, we kind of want to avoid. But at any rate, we are growing rice, and as soon as they get around to building these things, which could be a couple more minutes, we'll see what happens. I digress. The Architect's Lodge is now done making scaffolding. For now, we don't have anywhere to store it. Sunflower seed storage, huh? Oh, that's right. We put this here because of fuel for the library. So I'm going to pause the Architect's Lodge. But wait, we have beavers that need to go somewhere else. Well, they could go live here once this is done, but it's not done. You know what? We'll just deprioritize the job. Not that big of a deal. There's going to be stuff for them to do pretty soon anyway. And there's not much going on in the way of research here because there are no dandelions. Because I've had this gatherer flag turned off, which I can actually turn it back on. Hey, it's JulyFlame, one of our oldest supporters in the Beard Boosters. Well, oldest in terms of duration. I don't know how old they actually are in real life, but I digress. They're over here working on getting some berries for us, and then eventually dandelions, so that should help our library out quite a bit. Okay, who's flooded? Oh, I don't care about that. That's fine. Now, how are we looking over here? Is this getting any closer? Oh, quite close, actually, for the primitive dam upgrade. So once this is partially blocked off, we will see the water level start to rise a little bit. But we are approaching the end of the temperate cycle here. We could get that drought warning any day now, here on day 11. It'll definitely come within the next 4 days, I believe, if I am in fact correct. So I do want to see what happens as soon as this is finished. So I'm going to keep this focused on this little building site for right now, and then we'll go check on the other stuff. But yeah, I continue to be in absolute awe at the amount of work and detail that has gone into this mod, and just all of the completely new mechanics and new building designs and everything that just look really, really cool. Just very, very impressive. So we now have every little bit of material here. We're just waiting on somebody to come build it. And I'm so glad we don't have to have a blueprint. Yep, so there you go. You saw that little wave go up as the water is kind of forced to go through a slightly smaller space. I doubt that either of these are finished before this temperate cycle is over. But yeah, it does eventually mean that this is going to be flooded. I think we're going to get some extra time to work on it, which is completely fine by me. Next thing they're building should be one of these things, I would think. Because none of the dam pieces are marked as a higher priority. Oh, they were built before these things, though, so I think that's why they're working on that. For the sake of our beavers, let's go ahead and... Oh, I have to have clay pots. Oh, I don't have any clay pots. Oh, how could I be so foolish? All right, how do I make clay pots? Is that going to be... Does it consume clay pots, or is that just part of the thing that has to be in the cooking tent? Okay. I don't think. Yeah, there you go. That's your story. I don't think. Perfect. Put the meme on the screen. Let's go. Man, how do I even make these? Is that going to be something I have to make in a... Oh, hey, Joshua Krumholtz in here working on the Mechanics Lodge. Mechanicking all over the place. Where do I make clay pots? Is that going to be an industrial building? I have a clay pit. Rudimentary sawmill, doubt it. Screw press, doubt it. I imagine it's not going to be the alchemist either. See, this has all just been complete. There's our drought warning. This has all been completely rearranged, which is going to make it interesting for me to try and figure out how all this works again. Let's see. I do have a draft of the flowchart, but I've been told it's incomplete, and there's some stuff that needs to be fixed on it. So let me look at my other screen real quick and see if I can figure this out while we watch our beavers do their thing. See, I just don't see exactly how to make this. I don't see any building that might be able to make it. It's not clear to me. Either that's my fault for being an idiot, or okay, good. It's not the handicrafter's lodge. See, I don't know. I got to figure this out though. It's not going to be any of this clockwork stuff. I'm pretty confident of that. Come on, screenshot mod. Don't kill me now. Wine cellars, not worried about that. Primitive paper mills require the medium cauldron, which supposedly we have all the different things that came with our cart here. So what's on the ground? Explosives, 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 bramble flowers, clay. Why do we have so much clay on the ground? Explosives, more clay, gears. I don't see... What is this? Pine resin? Yeah, I don't see any pots. Glorious storage. Sorry, help me out, folks. Is that... Oh, I used the pot to make the cooking tent. That's what happened. All right, so let's pause real quick to try and figure out what I'm supposed to do here. Okay. Oh, okay. This was all organized into tabs. That's why I can't find it. Village jobs. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Alchemist cannot make a pot. Okay, I feel like that's a temporary name for the deep mechanical mine. Harvester's office, definitely not. That's another temporary thing. Builder's lodge. Wood felling planification lodge. Artist lodge. We already knew what that's about for making the blueprints fancy. Copyist lodge to make the fancy blueprints into 5 each normal blueprints. Handicrafter's lodge. They don't make the pot either. And then the tree nursery obviously is not going. Why is that rice red? Oh, maybe those are seeds. All right, so it's not none of these buildings here. Newsboard. Oh, hold on. All right, let's check this out. What is on the White Paw Gazette, edition 2.2.7D? Added glorious storage. Yep, we already saw that. Added tools, new resource in the primitive ironworks. Broken cart no longer drops a clay pot. Okay, well, good thing we already had it. Broken cart drops a medium cauldron. Primitive paper mill needs a medium cauldron. Yep, saw that. Deep mine elevator modules work in progress. Yep. I should have looked at this the first thing. Mega platforms for clockwork farms. That sounds exciting. A super fertilizing irrigation tower bath. Yeah, I saw pictures of that on the Discord. That looks awesome. Looking forward to using that much later on. 2 new clockwork farms. Yep. Rice is now planted by the normal farms. Thank God. Spatterder. What? Oh, Spatterdock probably. Now planted by the large farm. Rice can be cooked in the cooking tent. Medium cauldron recipe will be removed from primitive ironworks soon. Make sure you have one. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna make one of those. Does this have a side 2 with more information on it? Or is that just nope, it's the same one. All right. Well, that's good to know. So, primitive ironworks making metal fasteners. Let's make some medium cauldrons, shall we? So this is a small clay pot, which I still don't know how you make one of those, unless you're only ever supposed to have one cooking tent at a time, which I would not be a fan of, but could understand why that game mechanic might be desirable. So braised cabbage. Do we have any rice harvested yet? I don't think we do. No, but it should be soon. I guess we could just swap this over. and see what happens. But for right now, we'll leave that as braised cabbage because this rice has not finished growing yet. So if you have any idea, and you're in the comments, how to make small clay pots, let me know. I can't promise I won't figure it out later in today's video, but please do know that if you have that knowledge, I would like you to impart it to me. So let's take another look again. Fermentation barrel. See, like, I don't think any of these buildings actually make the clay pots. They just use them. The cooking house requires the medium cauldron, so we're definitely going to make a couple of those. That requires medium cauldron. Definitely need to have access to that. But if none of these require the small clay pot, then maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe you're only ever supposed to have one cooking tent. Although I gotta admit that would be kind of a baffling thing, in my opinion, as to why they could not make more than one. I don't know. I feel like this should be able to do something else here. I should be able to make more than one of these. But there's I mean, that guy can make a balloon. I don't quite understand that. So again, if you know, please do tell me. I'm not planning on updating this mod for a little while until there's something that demands I update it. Like when I was informed that I no longer needed blueprints to make these, I said, yes, absolutely, let's update immediately. So very grateful for that. So we should start having rice here in just a second. We'll see that come in. We already filled up. Oh, okay, they haven't built this yet. That's fine. We got plenty more to be building. I guess I'll go ahead and prioritize these over the dam pieces because there's no way these are going to be done. I'm going to actually deprioritize the primitive dam upgrades and the primitive dam here just so our beavers can work on other things. That's very not necessary currently. So we will look forward to that. I know we had right here, we had a levee that I was building so I could extend our water pumps out a little bit. So now I guess that's slightly higher priority. Probably actually should be the thing they start building next. And it looks like they are. Yep. All right. So clay-wise, we don't have any more clay. So I'm going to unpause our clay pit here. And this house probably should be a little bit higher for hauling purposes to have some more of those guys. Look how cool the rice looks when this grows up. I really like that. That's a nice looking model right there. So that is very cool to see. We should start harvesting that into the farmhouses. Hopefully. We also have these two down here that have not been completed yet. So that is looking nice. This is now low priority job, so that's fine. Large farmhouse blueprint. They're 42% of the way through. Joski over here taking over the duties of making those blueprints. But here's our drought, 7 days. We'll see what we can get done in that amount of time. But I'm going to plant some more cabbages over here. So that was some empty space. Food-wise, we definitely still don't have enough, which, of course, is why I'm building the additional farmhouses. But once we have these upgrades, which actually we can now research. Tools, looks like we need some tools to build one of those. But let's see, Handicrafter's Lodge, making pencil sets. Is that going to be a Mechanics Lodge? Pomade gears. Oh, these are other blueprints. Okay. I guess we'll just keep old Josh over here working on the gears. And the hunt begins for who can make tools. So let's check out village jobs. We've got Alchemist is not making tools. Harvester's Office is not making tools. Builder's Lodge, not making tools, not making tools, not making tools. Also not making tools. Also not making tools, but they can make tabletop gaming sets for the farmhouse upgrade. So we know that's not a thing. Let's check out our industrial buildings. Log gnawing station, not making tools. Come on. Clay pit, not making tools. Rudimentary sawmill. I don't think is making tools. Oh, it does. A sawmill. It mills. Sunflower oil. I I just have to check for my own sanity. I feel like that's a placeholder set. Okay, it looks like we've got Matthew Roberts and GinUpTheWater working here in the 2-story watertight lodge as haulers. That should help us out quite a bit. Love to see that. Napoleon here isn't going to be making anything except some glory for our beavers who apparently idolize Napoleon for some reason. Sawdust. We're running out of sawdust. And I did it again. I didn't turn this other one back on. 40%. I'll just go ahead and turn that back on. They're kind of close. So that's looking fine. Harvesting berries and dandelions. That's looking fine. Rice production is looking... Well, we should have rice. Are they not storing the rice in the farmhouse? Can they just not... Can they not store this? Rice paddy. But they should be storing it somewhere unless... No. Clay pots, man. I'm telling you. I gotta figure out how to make those. Like, I feel like it would have to be fired in a kiln. But I don't have a kiln, and this can just only make clay. Unless I've just missed something. I don't see it. Power's not going to be there. The library's not going to make it. Mechanics Lodge. Making blueprints. Architects Lodge. Making other blueprints. Okay, the university analog that I cannot pronounce because I don't know any French. I think is how we make that sparkly scroll-looking thing. Food, decorative carrot, potato. Do these actually tell us anything? No. Wrong order, right order, water tightness, power, not to starve. Awful, awful stew sounds terrible. I guess there is no further information on the clay pot, so maybe that is something that we can only have one of. The cooking tent. These question marks, I believe, could be Hindi characters, which I guess Unicode doesn't support for some reason. But yeah, that's who that is. Beard Booster. Let's just do some salt onigiris here. And we'll see what happens with that, because I think if that has the ability to gather rice, then they should be able to actually harvest it. If I prioritize... Come on. If I prioritize the rice paddy, are they going to be able to actually, you know, harvest rice? The world may never know. Well, there's also nobody working here. Can I sacrifice somebody else? I love how there's still power going into this. Because we have the one crappy water wheel. That is amazing. Alright, so we are getting rice into the cooking tent, but okay, alright, this one is storing rice, so it can be done. I just hadn't seen it pop up, so that's good to know. We'll just have to keep manually planting rice as it gets harvested. So that'll be nice to have that extra little bit of stuff. I wish I could have more than one of these. I cannot for the life of me figure out what's going on. Like, I feel like I should be able to have more than one of those things. Alright, this needs to be set to crude saw blades. So this can finally get left out of here and we can store some cabbages in this mini crappy warehouse. Should see that come up pretty soon. So how are we looking on our harvesting down here? Alright, we've gotten some of the trees and some of the berries harvested. That's fine. These guys should not be coming down here anymore. I'm going to actually super disincentivize the damn building. Although I imagine that might not deter them at all. I just want them to be doing this other stuff. Okay, good. They finished that levee. So that's nice. Water pump upgrade. We're going to go ahead and... Come on, let me place this. There's some sort of trick to this that I haven't quite figured out. There we go. So that's going to give us even more beavers working here. We have 18 open jobs. How in the world did that happen? We have 93 beavers. We haven't lost anybody. So I don't know how we have so many open jobs. This is only one. Maybe it's because I unpaused other buildings here. Architect's Lodge, 6 empty beds. See, I need more beavers. I just can't do Can't do much of anything else with them. So that's looking okay. See, I just don't know what else to do, folks. Do we have enough science to unlock the bigger tanks yet? I do. The medium tank, you better believe we're going to be building one of those things. We've needed this for a very long time. I just have to figure out a good place to build one. I guess right here wouldn't be the worst. So we'll have this take water, have that set to obtain, and then once that is built, then we'll prioritize by haulers. So we need 20 tar, 20 metal fasteners, and 30 planks. We have all of it, so they can go ahead and get that built, and I think I'm going to prioritize that as the highest item. Yeah, let's get that done, because it's going to be nice to have water a little bit more conveniently located for all these guys living over here. Harvester's office looking good. Wood filling planification. What an epic name for a building. That's looking good. Our slow mushroom growth. Hey, Redneck. And Sebastian over here seems to be working pretty well. It's about a little less than 50% split, depending on productivity numbers, it looks like. But that's looking nice. They don't have enough sawdust, MallesBixie doesn't, to do the fast mushrooms. So I think we're going to need to screw press axles. That's actually already set. So I'm going to go ahead, since we already have the planks, I'm just going to convert this to sawdust so we can have some sawdust done. Obviously the plank storage, we probably need to build more, but we don't really have anything in the way of efficient, space-efficient storage yet. We just have the large pile. We don't have the large industrial pile yet. We haven't researched, and okay, that's giant log storage. But I think our pile storage, we can probably go ahead. Is this going to even fit here? Oh, I have not planned this very well at all, have I? No, this needs to be somewhere else. I want to have access to that, so I guess I could just put this here and just stop crying about it. Plank storage, we'll just make that plank storage, because we already have log storage here. We got some little plank storage, but this probably should be some other items, like these other minerals and things, because we have pretty decent storage of coal here. At one point I was going to put in a second mine, but I don't think we need to, honestly. We don't have that much going on. This got built, and nobody's working here, of course, because we don't have enough beavers, but we are working on it. I think one of the more challenging things about this mod is how you have this inherent imbalance of workers versus available beavers, because most things are houses. So you're disincentivized to build too much too quickly, but you can also have this interesting problem of not having enough beavers because you're not building so much so quickly. You don't want to overburden your population by having too many of them. But as a result of that, you end up not having enough. So definitely some new things to try and figure out in terms of how the game is set up, but we'll certainly, I think, hopefully, be in a good spot for that. So where are we now? Cycle 11, day 1. We should see water start to come back through here again, and we have. They're going to get back to work on these things. In fact, they already are, even though it's marked as the lowest possible priority job. I don't think we really have that much more going on. So can't really be too upset about that. And now we just need to make sure we're mountain salt. That's we don't have anybody working here. All right, so let's see, who can 96%. Nice. Okay, we're almost done here, and then I am going to pause pause both these architects lodges. I'm going to start with that one, but as soon as this is done, we're going to pause this, and then we've got to make the copyist, whatever you want to call it. Oh no, we can't. Oh no, we have to make the artist lodge to make. Yep, this is the problem I was running into last time. We're going to go ahead and start building this. We have to fancify the blueprints, and then they can be duplicated, not the other way around. And these, of course... Oh, what in the world? This has paint all over... Alright, it's the Artist Lodge. That makes sense. Okay, cannot be upset about that. So this guy... What is that? Oh, it's water... Oh, okay, so it's probably meant to go underwater, but I don't have water I want to put that in, so I guess we'll just leave that alone. Oh, this is a second level building, huh? All right. Shoot, this is where I get lost, trying to figure out what is supposed to go where. I don't know. There's a lot I don't know or understand about how this mod works yet. So I guess for now, all it is these guys are going to kind of be next to each other, I suppose. All right, come on, lag. Don't kill me. Don't do me in. All right. See, I feel like I should be putting these right across from each other, but they don't have any way of actually getting up or down because I don't have ladders unlocked yet. Which, by the way, are now a dependency of the mod. So if you update it, make sure you do that. Download the ladders mod. Depending on how you install, if you use Mod Manager, it should take care of that for you. But fun fact, Mod Manager has broken for me, so now I have to manually install everything, and I don't know what happened, what broke. I tried to reinstall Mod Manager and Timber API, BepInEx, and all that stuff. It will not show up on my Timberborn screen, which, whatever. It's fine. I can manually install. I know how to do that, but it does add a little bit of a layer of possible error to the mix. Anyway, kind of irrelevant for the purposes of video making, but that was a fun like 30 minutes to an hour the other day trying to figure out what in the world am I doing wrong. All that to say, we're probably going to need to research ladders, but I don't have science. So what we will do instead is not build this right here, he says, after they've already brought all the materials over. We're going to have to just have stairs. Gonna have to have stairs. And that is just a little unfortunate, because I don't really have a good way of getting stuff connected here. I guess I could just suck it up and put some stairs here and have them go up. That way actually should go there. Okay. Yeah, we'll just have another path here. So this might look kind of dumb, but it's going to allow us to put some other storage up here. So that's fine. Again, I really don't understand how a lot of the stuff in this mod works. I am quite literally just figuring it out as we go. But I'm going to pause this building now because we have the large farmhouse blueprint, which means we need to fancify the large farmhouse blueprint and the artist lodge, which is about to be built. Just need 2 more logs, and that will be looking a-okay. And it looks like this has been finished. Just need this one piece in the middle, and then this is going to start flooding. So we want to make sure... Oh, nobody's working here? All right. Well, I mean, I was trying to save all the resin, but I mean, our storage is full, so I guess I can't really feel too bad about that. For right now, I think we're okay. I don't know that I need to... Holy lag. That I need to worry about it, but I guess I could go ahead and change this to pine resin just so we can take advantage of all that while we can. So that's what that's going to be. Look how colorful this is. All right, that's actually cool. I like that. And it only takes them 2 hours to fancify this. So what we'll do is I'm actually, hey, GinUpTheWater, you're going to be our artist for today. You're going to fancify this, and then I'm going to immediately disincentivize this workplace as a priority. And that's done. So now we'll come over here, and we're going to copy the large farmhouse blueprint. And guess what? Hey, Theon Greyjoy. Not a beard booster. Yep, they need paper, and they need pencil sets. And this guy's not making pencil. Oh, there are 50 pencil sets. Never mind. So that's all right. We just have to have stuff prioritized by haulers here, and they should be able to get everything in there. We don't have 60 pieces of paper, though, unfortunately. That is something we're going to have to make for ourselves. But This is such a cool process. Instead of having to continually spend 300 hours drawing up blueprints, which I guess in real life, well, okay, well, you have CAD now and all these different architectural softwares, so maybe it's faster, maybe it's not. But if I was hand drawing blueprints for a building, it probably would take more than 300 hours. Just my initial thought on that. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an architect because I liked drawing and designing things. And then I figured out how much math was involved, and I said, no, thank you. But it is cool to imagine how different buildings look, and think about the outside shape of a building to make stuff fit inside and plan out what goes where and all that. Always been interested in that. I think that probably comes along with the territory of the whole city builder kind of game genre. But at any rate, this guy is going to have to get some... Oh, no, he has to have 5. He has to have 5 blueprints to make 25. Are you serious? So I actually have to have 5 of these before they can copy any of them? Oh, that's cruel. Oh, no. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? Unless that's... I really hope it's going to let me do one at a time, because if not, that's going to take me another... Oh, God, that's going to take another, like, 4 episodes to do this. Because I feel like if you have one blueprint, you should be able to make copies of it. You shouldn't need to have 5 large farmhouse fancy blueprints. Oh, it consumed it. Okay, good. Good. That's just the total storage capacity. False alarm. You've been vindicated. I don't need to accuse you of anything because you've actually done nothing wrong. I was just in very much panicky mode. Now, one thing I do want to test. I want to try this out. Can you take the duplicated blueprints, refancify them, and then defancify those, and just create infinite loop of making more blueprints? We're going to test this out, because if that's allowed in the coding, then that's honestly probably something that should be fixed. But we're going to exploit that until it is, if that's actually what the case is. So now let's get that up to 100% because I want to see this. All right, I have 5 large farmhouse blueprints. Deprioritize. Going to reprioritize. Hey, Dundu. Can he import? Yes. Yes. Oh, I feel like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, but I don't care because this is amazing. I'll just infinitely duplicate blueprints. I mean, which kind of is the point of blueprints, but it feels like I'm doing something illegal here in a fun way. All right, and they're going right there. Yep. Continuously fancifying them. Going in here. I feel like as long as you have enough blueprints, you should be able to get away with it. All right. So now, who's coming in here? Oh, it's a Dundu again. Yeah, make me some more blueprints. Because as soon as that happens, then I can just have a whole bunch of these floating around. Now, I think we can take this off at turbo speed just a second so the frame rate has a chance to catch up. But now I can do these farm upgrades. Except I don't have any idea what these stinking tools are. That was what I was going to try and figure out, and I just never did. All right. That's not it. That's not it. Like, I feel like it has to be one of these science buildings. But this is all blueprints. That's all blueprints. This university doesn't make any tools. That would be a trade school anyway. It wouldn't be a university. I don't think. Builder's office. See, they all require, like, it looks like a pickaxe, a hammer, like a spade or a hoe, and a chisel, if I'm interpreting that correctly. I just don't know who makes this stuff. Yeah, Tapper Shack requires the tools as well. So am I just dumb? I feel like I asked that question at least 5 times an episode. How in the world do I make tools? Because I don't see any mechanism with which to accomplish that. I just don't see it. Well, at any rate, we need to go ahead and put these upgrades on top of our farmhouses here. Oh, it's not going to let me do more than 2 farmhouses together. All right, all right. You're gonna play hardball with me, huh? So what they're saying is I should have grouped them in sets of 4. Well, I'm going to put that guy there. Tools. Yes, please tell me how to make tools, because I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. It's not under metal. Oh my god. Are you serious? After all this time, I'm sure someone's already commented about that. Medium cauldrons, I have 1 now, so now... oh my god, this is embarrassing. All right. Okay. This is coal. Yep, we're gonna make our tools. I told you. All right, we need to make glorious storage. What a name, man. What a name. Glorious storage. Let's just put that there for some medium cauldrons. Get that built up real quick. And then they can start making the tools. I cannot believe it took me this long to figure this out. Oh, man. That's part of the fun, though. I do think it's hilarious, though, that the outside of the artist lodge is this thing that's covered in paint and not the inside. Although I guess we can't really see inside. Well, that's fine. These guys are going to work on large farmhouse blueprints, and then at some point, probably next episode, we can research and build the large farmhouse, because guess what? It takes 32 tools and requires a fancy blueprint to build. So it's this whole like cycle of back and forth is going to have to be its own thing. But I am very, very interested to see just how much of an improvement this makes. I know there's other things you could put on top of the farm, like in our where was that? Basic village structures. Yeah, watershed upgrade, hauler's warehouse, builder's office, and one of these is, where is it under well-being? Yes, the nerdy attic. So, this is perfect. Or, nerdy beavers can play tunnels in humans. Yeah, I wonder what that's a reference to. Yeah, so this is just about there. We need 4 more tools and 15 more logs. They are working as fast as they can to get the rest of this going, but they don't have enough logs, which brings us back to down here. We got Hakan over here lumberjacking away. So what's happening over here with our Bramble Boys? Okay, we got Himanshu, we got Roy and Disturbed Simulations over here. Wood felling and planificating all over these brambles here. We just don't have enough beavers to fill all these jobs, which I think is hilarious. Because every house adds jobs, right? Because now the haulers have their own jobs. We don't even have these guys working as haulers either. So I think we're just gonna have to keep on having more and more beavers. You know, in software development, there's a term called scope creep. That happens. I can't plant that there. Go away. It happens when you kind of lose sight of the initial goal for your project, and you just keep adding features because it would be really cool. Well, this is what's happening with us in this playthrough. Is I see some sort of technology or some building or something that I think is really cool, and I want it in our settlement here, and I just add it. I don't even think about it. And like, okay, well, now we have to do this, and then because we have to do that, we have to do this. And before you know it, you have almost 100 beavers, and you really haven't accomplished that much. But I am really enjoying getting to see all the progress we're making here. And it is actually quite enjoyable, quite fun. Of course, primitive dams are not complete, and I kind of wish they were. We just do not have enough logs at this point in time, and I think our builders would very much appreciate having the ability to take care of all that. So what else can we be... Oh, we have all these trees over here we can be cutting down. Let's do that. I don't know how much lumberjack flag. Is that Sigve? I'm not good at... I'm assuming some sort of a Nordic origin name there. apologies for being bad at pronouncing names. I am but a lowly American raised in the deep south without a whole lot of names that didn't sound like mine, but I am trying. Now, how are we looking here? We got only 12 vacancies. All right, that's progress. That's looking good. This is... Oh, it's just about done. All right, let's see what this looks like when that's all finished. So I think they just need a couple of logs. There we go. Oh, cool. Nice and seamless. Actually blends in pretty well with the existing architecture. Very impressive. So now we have 2 additional worker slots, and... Wow, the upgrade also houses 3? Wow, okay. Well, that's exactly what we need, because we have to have... we gotta have some more beavers in here. So that's cool. That's exciting. Let's put a couple more of these in. Assistant farmers, yes. I guess I will go ahead. Oh, I really should have put these in a different light, but we'll put 2 more there. The reason I put 2 on this guy is because this is what is in need of being harvested more, are these cabbages right here. So as we get more and more slots for more and more beavers to live, we'll have more and more beavers to work, and all of that fun. How close are we to this? 21 more logs, and then of course this one's going to have 60. That's a lot. It's a lot of logs, man. A lot of logs. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it done. Yep, there's our drought warning. We have 3 days. I do not think it's going to happen. Let's see. Tooth cut planks. I'm actually going to go ahead and pause production of the planks. I'm not going to be worried too much about the mushrooms because our cooking tent does not require those to make the salt onigiri. So I'm actually going to pause both of these and have the beavers go and work in other jobs. Hopefully that can speed some stuff up. Wood felling planification. This guy right here. Cutting these things down. We don't have any extra beavers yet, so I guess that's going to be fine there. Prioritized by haulers. Let's see if we can get this finished. It's not going to be impossible, but I am not super optimistic about it. Let's reprioritize all these just to see if we can in 2 days what we can accomplish. At the very least, I can say that this is done, and then we can call it a day for today, because this is getting to be on the longer side, at least for most videos. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, so I'm gonna try my best not to have too many long ones. But as you've learned by now, it just kind of happens. I can't really plan specifically for any video to be any specific length, unless I just am comfortable completely cutting progress off at an arbitrary point. So that's what that is. Oh man, I hope they can get this done in 1.8 days. I mean, this primitive upgrade is going to be finished probably today because they only need 12 more logs. But this other little bit here, I don't know. We'll see. Not going to be worried about it until it becomes something that needs to be worried about. It just would be nice if that was something that was usable. All right. Are there more rice paddies we can plant? Looks like so. Yep, there we go. Progress is being made. Where did I put the other? Was it right here? Yep, there we go. That's almost done too. Just needs somebody to come and finish, which I think should happen beginning of tomorrow in game. Not like it really matters. We have over 100 beavers now, so they should, in theory, be able to, complete this stuff. Oh, man, they just need 1. Oh, just 1. Come on. Come on, just finish this. 1 day. One day left. Less than a day left. So I know they're going to get this done. The 60 logs here, no, not happening. There we go. All right, so let's watch this. Watch this happen in real time. As soon as it stops lagging. Yeah. Here it comes. Rising very slowly. Maybe not rising? Is it just leaking? I feel like it should be going up. Unless there's not a secondary exit for this, is there? Maybe it's just... Okay, because this is such a huge body of water, I guess it's going to just take a while for it to start overtopping. Yeah, I can see it rising now. And it's not really going to be able to get too much higher than what it is, because this guy definitely needs some additional logs. And it's not going to get him before the day is over, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to put him on the 24 hours, because you know how that goes. We always forget, or I guess I always forget, and then those poor guys end up working themselves to death. So now this can actually be deprioritized once again, since that's not going to be finished. But, you know, it's fine. It is what it is. We did, however, get this up to full pool for the lower level. So now instead of, what, 0.8 blocks, it's just barely overflowed. Just barely. Well, that's okay, because this will eventually get pumped out, and that'll give us a little bit more time to harvest from these guys over the next little bit, because now we're in the drought. But I think this is going to be where we leave off for today. Let's just check a couple more things. Yeah, see, these pumps are still operating perfectly fine. It's these storages that are flooded. That's what I imagined was going to happen, so no surprises there. But yeah, we got actually a lot done. We've got some upgrades to the farmhouses, both of these in place. We've got 3 extra beds currently, although once I unpause these buildings, we'll have some additional ones there. Should have absolutely no problems with food. For right now, we have our salt onigiri being made at our cooking tent, which means we probably need to have storage for these. So is there one of these that we can dedicate to that? Cabbages, since that's an ingredient and not a finished food product, I think we can delegate that to go somewhere else. So this is salt onigiris. Yeah. We're going to have this stuffed into there. A little bit closer for, I guess, our currently most premium food item. We'll just have that looking good. We're still making kimchi, apparently. I haven't really seen much of it show up here. I guess they're still eating it. And maybe that's... Oh, hey, that was a very high-pitched beaver noise. Yep, just got to get those cabbages out of there. So I guess we could just fast forward through that and see if they take these two. Yep, there we go. Now they can fill it with salt. Rice balls. But yeah, lots of good stuff done today. We started doing our blueprints, and we've got them right here. We have 2 regular large farmhouse blueprints, 5 fancy blueprints. So we can just kind of keep sending those back through the ringer, duplicate them to our heart's content. Next time we'll research large farmhouse and find a place to stick that so we can start planting pumpkins. And I think there's another one that it can handle too. Yep, the spatter dock, which we don't really need right now, but pumpkins could be a cool thing. 7 days, you get 30 pumpkins. So is that something that happens inside the farmhouse, or does it have a yard that it comes with? Well, we have the science. Let's just go ahead and research it so we know what's up. I'm not going to take the time to build this right now, but this looks like, yeah, it gives it an area. So I wonder, oh, look at the design on this. Oh, that's so cool. It's got like the cart outside, and it's got little stack of hay on the side, got barrels. This is a really cool looking asset. So great job with this. This looks fantastic. But we'll delve into that next time, and we'll see what we're able to accomplish with it. Yeah, like I was saying, lots of good stuff, lots of progress made. We are really, really getting the hang of a lot of this now. Still a little bit that I'm not quite sure on. Hopefully, whenever the updated flowchart is ready to go, of course, I will share that with you guys in one of these videos. But I don't want to put out something that isn't complete. So we'll wait on that, and we'll see what ends up happening as a result. But yep, that is going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed, as always. I read every comment, so if you have any questions or comments, concerns, or if you've played this faction mod and you have any answers to any questions I posed in this episode, please do comment below. I will read it. Do my best to try and respond to as many as I can, but I can't always get to them, and I can't always get to them quickly when I do. But I really appreciate you taking the time to be here today, and all of the fantastic support and encouragement, and watching the videos. These have done incredibly well. I think as of the time of this recording, the first episode of this series is at about 14,000 views. and it is performing very well in terms of other analytics as well. So thank you for the support. This is really, really exciting to see people's interest in this. So, of course, Beard Boosters as well. Thank you for being who you are and supporting me and making it possible for me to do these videos. We are moving to daily uploads officially, hopefully through the end of the year at the very least, through the Christmas, New Year holiday. So look forward to that, and I'm going to try and start streaming in the middle of the week as well here on YouTube. And pending a couple other things, possibly Twitch as well. But Twitch is where we do the things that are not city builder games. So like your RPGs and puzzle games, stuff like that. If you're interested in that, go follow me on Twitch. Please do not subscribe to me on Twitch unless I am actively streaming, because I do not want you to waste your money. But I do, of course, appreciate any support that I receive. I just want to make sure that you're not not putting out money for a product you're not going to receive. So until I actually start streaming on there, please do not throw money at me on a platform I might not use. But of course, if we start doing that stuff, I will, of course, welcome any support that you feel inclined to lend. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to continuing with this playthrough. We'll see if I can move this to a twice-a-week upload schedule, depending on other stuff. I want to make sure we can get enough progress made in these playthroughs before Update 5 comes out. I do not know when that will be, but I know I don't want to get caught in the middle of a playthrough that I can no longer access because I'm on experimental, and it insists that I automatically update and then everything gets wiped. That would be an absolute travesty. So we're going to do our best to get through these, not rush through anything, no, but to make as much progress as we can and still have a good and organized time doing it, or at least as much of an organized time as I can reasonably manage. But yep, that's it. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow for Folktales. Oster video on Friday, and then live stream Saturday, Sunday with our diorama map, and then going back at it in Satisfactory on Sunday. That was such a fun stream last week. Can't wait to get back into it with you again. But here we go. 7 days left in the drought. We'll pick up next time, whenever that episode might be. And until then, have a fun, a safe time, whatever you're doing. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.